Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. It's 9 a.m. here in Tucson, Arizona, which means it is time for the Mindful Moment. I am Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Tucson. Unity of Tucson is an inclusive and loving spiritual center right here in Tucson, Arizona, where we join together as a spiritual community to explore the principles of New Thought. And we explore those principles with this idea in mind, that the exploration of those principles, and I think even more, perhaps, if you would like to consider the adoption of those principles, it's up to you if you want to adopt them, but the adoption of those principles will guide us towards defining a personal purpose, mastering spiritual understanding, and creating a spiritual practice. And those things have worked in my life to enhance the quality of my life. And so that's why I do what I do here as I do it. The Mindful Moment is one of those opportunities that I take every Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. to engage, as Jean-Luc Picard would say on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yes, I am a Star Trek nerd. Don't know if you know that about me. Love me some Star Trek. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you are here. Always a delight to see those comments come through. I did say yesterday that I might be pre-recorded because I had some stuff that was coming up, but guess what? I'm not. So look, I have access to the live comments. Reverend Jerry Stratemeyer, blessings everyone, and blessings to you. Grateful to see you this glorious day. Roberta, good morning to you as well. William, lots of hot peeps in Tucson today. Yes, we love all of you, and all these hot peeps, we love you. So grateful, grateful, grateful. I do, of course, want to offer my reminder, as I do, which is to say this: you are love, you are light, you are life, you are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence. Thank you for doing that. Sherry, woohoo! Happy day to all, and happy day to you, my friend. So there are thoughts that have been coming up, lots of ideas and constructs and this and that. And one of the things that comes up that got sent as an email was asking, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pose the question, and I would actually be interested to know your approach, your thoughts in response to this question. Go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat, because I am going to be working on formulating my understanding so that I can carefully express it utilizing this clumsy tool I have called language in a way that makes sense. So the question that came through was from one of you that said, or a request to explain the difference between silence and stillness. Silence and stillness. And they could very much on the surface be viewed as the same thing. But I think there's a deeper understanding around the difference between silence and stillness. So let's first of all acknowledge that we engage in the practice of silence and or the practice of stillness as a meditation tool, that when we are stepping our practice of meditation into action, that what we are doing is we are allowing ourselves to either exist in silence and in stillness, or to be the silence or be the stillness. Full-bodied silence, full-bodied stillness, full-minded silence, full-minded stillness. So what is the difference? For me, silence is about quieting the outer voice and quieting the inner voice. It's a reflection on the voices that we hear. That's how I would talk about silence, or the lack thereof. Stillness for me is around relaxing all the things around the silence. So I can be perfectly silent and still not be still. See what I mean? So for me, stillness is a deeper sensation than silence. That's for me. And so what I'm often seeking is in a more extended meditation, what I often find myself in is actually the practice of stillness, where the mind is still, the body is still, and it's just a deeper sensation. And Sherry's kind of putting it out there in a way. I think it has to do with the mind versus body. Stillness is body, but the mind, and stillness is body, but the mind can still be noisy. I think that's what you intended there. Silence is when the mind is still. And I think that the mind can also experience, so we may have a, difference, and I think it's semantic, it's a language thing. I believe that there is an opportunity for the mind to be stilled, to be still. The mind can be still, which is a step beyond just silencing the mind. That's just me, and I think I don't, let's talk about definitions for a moment, because I think sometimes we get lost in the idea that definitions have to be prescriptive, that if I define the word silence or I define the word stillness, it has to mean what that means no matter what. Well, we're all going to have slightly varying degrees of difference in terms of how we approach definitions of words. And so I think the thing to remember with word definitions is that they are not prescriptive. They are actually just descriptive. They're descriptive of a manner in which a word is being utilized at present. So the example that I like to give of this is, let's just talk about the word passion. The word passion, I think many of us would look at as being a good thing, right? Oh my gosh, he has such passion for life. Like he has, like it's an inner feeling, an inner outflow of exuberance or excitement that we define that now as passion. That's the descriptive way of understanding the word passion now. But that word had a completely different meaning, and it still has that meaning in the way that it's utilized sometimes. So passion traditionally had meant suffering, right? That if you were in passion, you were in suffering. So, I think about the thing that always comes up. The passion of the Christ was not about the exuberance and excitement of the Christ. It was about the suffering of the Christ. And so words are simply descriptive, and we decide what words mean at any given time. Now, we try to utilize language as I always call language a clumsy tool to try to get our point across. And it is, because people are going to have different approaches to the way they understand words. I had an experience yesterday with someone, and I asked for clarification on a word that they were using, because my understanding of the definition of that word was not in alignment with what I thought they were trying to tell me. And it wasn't that they were wrong. And I said, if that's your understanding of the word, I did say this, if that's your understanding of the word, and I understand how you're utilizing that word, it's fine. And then I said, I think the word that you might be better understood in utilizing is another word when you're talking about this idea, right? So descriptive, not prescriptive, but we're all doing the best we can to make it all work. Anyway, I kind of went on a long thing about words there, didn't I? Sherry says, I think we are saying the same, but have then opposite. I think we are saying the same, but have the opposite. So I don't know that we have the opposite, Sherry. For me, the body can be silent. The voice can be silent. We can immerse ourselves in silence. And a deeper level for me is actually stillness. That the body, the mind, and our environment can be still. And that is that's something deeper than silence. So like I say, I think we are saying the same thing, but I don't know that they're opposite ideas. That's just me. I'm going to have to think on that. Maybe I'll bring it to the rant tomorrow. I'll ask Saint Steph about her approach to understanding the difference between silence and stillness. I think it'd be a great conversation for us to have. All right, well, let's engage in the practice of affirmative prayer. If it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. Welcome you to the practice. What I do is when I close my eyes, it invites me, ready? First of all, to quiet the mind, to step into the practice of silence. And as I quiet the mind, it is an invitation to look within to the activity of the inner life. And so that activity is not stillness, but I can be in the silence and open up in awareness to something that is happening. That something is the outflow, the flow at all times of this magnificent thing called God. For God is all there is. That is the only thing that exists. God, this greatness on demand, this creative source, this creative resource, this infinitely evolving, ever-flowing, changing, moving creative source. And through the utilization of ideas, it is being formed in the world of expression. And there is nothing in the world of expression that is not wholly divine. We are each and every one of us, all creation. It is all this magnificent thing we call God. And so I open up my awareness to a greater sensation and understanding of the one power, the one presence, the one wholeness, knowing that this is who and what I am, and this is who I encounter in every interaction. And so I trust in the flow of this goodness in whatever way I choose to practice it. And I choose to practice it in the silence. I choose to practice it in the stillness. I choose to practice it in the exuberance and the passionate. And I choose to experience it in the times that are not feeling so exuberant. For what I have found is that an understanding of God as all there is a healing consciousness. And so, as I allow myself to focus on the healing, the revealing of the divinity at the core of all experiences, at the core of all circumstances, I allow an easeful flow. And so I revel in the ease. I revel in the grace. I revel in the goodness. And in this revelation, I am grateful. I allow gratitude to unfold from within. I allow the feeling of appreciation to overflow. And it is this feeling that flows and allows and fuels this creative engine. And so I trust and know that everything that flows forth is rooted in this feeling of gratitude, of appreciation. So I simply let it be. I step out of the way of the divine circuits doing their perfect work, and I allow. And I affirm this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. Well, always a delight to share some time with you. I will be back for the Mindful Moment again on Monday at 9 a.m. Tucson time. Don't forget, tomorrow being Friday, I will be here with Reverend Steph St. Amand at 9:30 Pacific time, 11:30 Central time, where we will join together for what we lovingly refer to as the rant. Rant meaning radically affirmative new thought. Good conversation that we have. We invite you to participate in that conversation. You can always send ideas that you would like us to discuss in that conversation. You can send them to me at revjonathan@unitytucson.com. And always a good time. Yeah. So that's it. Peace and blessings to you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 for the rant. If you'd like to join us on Sunday here at Unity of Tucson, Sundays at 10 o'clock Tucson time, we have our celebration service, and you can join in person or online for that. So yes. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.